What is up, you guys? So today I wanted to have a conversation with you about my personal experience with 4 luxury houses and repairs that I've had to have done, and give you guys some tips on how to ensure that your items get repaired, because there's a lot of conversation happening about quality issues and companies not repairing items. So I just wanted to give you my personal experience, and hopefully this might serve some of you. So let's get started. Firstly, let me tell you the 4 houses where I've had to have items repaired. I have had 2 items repaired at Louis Vuitton. I have had 1 item repaired at Chanel. I have had 1 item repaired at Chloe, and I've had 1 item that also required repair at Gucci. The first and most important thing that I wanted to say with regards to having an item repaired is whatever item you purchase, it is pivotal. It is of the most importance that you guys wear your items. A lot of times things go unworn, and then a year and a half into having it, you may have an issue because you didn't wear your item. I really think that you want to wear your item a lot the first year, because you want to determine whether or not you ended up with a lemon. And if you're within that year, it will be a lot easier to have items repaired or replaced. So please don't let your items sit around. If you buy something, please wear it often, as much as possible. Obviously, I'm not telling you to damage the items, but I am telling you guys to wear them, and heavily wear your items that are brand new. And then, just to drive home the point, just think about how different these 2 statements sound. I've owned this for 2 weeks and this item already has a defect, right? 2 weeks of wear and there's a defect on the product, compared to I've had this for 6 months and have only worn it 3 times and it has a defect, right? It more than likely, people are not as willing to help you, but even within the 6 months, you are still golden. I think that we all have about a year of having these items for it to be repaired at the cost of the luxury design house. So please wear your items. I implore you to wear your items. Number 2 is a sales associate's or client advisor's job is to sell or advise you on a purchase. Keep this in mind, you guys, because often we think that the sales associates are our friend, or they're really friendly with us, and then when we have a issue with an item, we think, oh, let me go talk to my sales associate, and they are not necessarily the person to speak to. I know someone will say, oh my God, I have a great sales associate and they're going to help me. And that is a one-off. I'm telling you right now, if you have a great sales associate that's going to help you, that's amazing. But even if you do, you're taking time away from their sales. And so if that was my job, to sell, and you're taking time away from me selling, even if I'm doing it nicely, I still think that it is not polite. So do not use your sales associates when you have a defect or something that needs to be replaced. The third thing to keep in mind is merchants and fashion houses are 2 very different and separate enterprises. Merchants facilitate access to products. Design houses make luxury goods. You should only deal with merchants within your return window. So if you have an issue with an item you recently purchased from, let's say, a merchant, Saks, Harrods, Farfetch, Matches Fashion, Neiman Marcus, what else am I, Bloomingdale's, any of these stores, these are all merchants. So with a merchant, all you want to do is return and exchange. They are not going to do your repairs. They are going to deal with the design house. So you're basically using a middle person instead of going directly to the design house. So it doesn't matter where you purchase your item. If you purchase something from Chanel through Neiman Marcus, if you purchase something from Louis Vuitton from Saks, or if you purchase something from Prada from Farfetch, you should only deal with the design house. So if I purchase something from Farfetch, let's say my Prada loafers, and I have an issue with my Prada loafers, I'm going to contact Prada directly. If I purchase something from Neiman Marcus from Chanel, I'm going to contact Chanel directly. You do not want to deal with these merchants for repairs. They're not your go-to person. So long as you're within your return or exchange window, then I would deal with the merchant. Otherwise, I would steer clear. You waste a lot of time dealing with them, and the process will be a lot longer. I'm not saying that they won't do it. I'm just saying that it is a lot easier for you to go directly with the design house. Next, I wanted to say most or all of these luxury houses all have aftercare services, and these are your people that you go to for repair. Aftercare, that's who you want to contact. That's the only ones that you want to deal with when it comes to a repair. You don't want to deal with sales associates. You don't want to deal with merchants. You want to deal with the aftercare department of each individual house. So let me discuss why I am very familiar with these repairs. My first experience was with Louis Vuitton. I purchased a key case for my husband, and I purchased it through Bloomingdale's, and I went to the Louis Vuitton at Bloomingdale's to have this item repaired. I was told that I had to pay, I think it was like $114 for the repair, and I said absolutely not. I was within the year, and I was told that it was heavily used, so that wasn't the case, that they weren't going to do it out of their pocket. And so I had words with the people there, but at the end of the day, they went ahead and took it and repaired it at no cost to me. I want to say it took about a month for me to get it back, and it was at no cost to me. The second item that I had repaired was my Palm Springs Mini, and this was purchased through Saks. I also went to Louis Vuitton Saks. They just seemed like they didn't want to do it, and it's just unpleasant to have to always tell them that it's their responsibility to fix it. But they fixed it. They told me it was going to take, I can't remember if they gave me a window or not, but 3 months went by and I had not heard from them. It occurred to me to call the 800 number to see if they had, any information about my repair. And they do, you guys. The 800 number, I will direct you to the 800 number before you go into any repair. I am giving you this information based on my experience. Yes, I went directly to Bloomingdale's, Louis Vuitton, and I went direct to Saks, Louis Vuitton. I would not ever do that again. I contacted the 800 number. I was told that my Palm Springs Mini had been back after 2 weeks. It had been sitting at the Saks Louis Vuitton 2 weeks from the date that I took it for a repair, and it had been sitting there for 3 months. So what I will say to you guys is, first, always contact the 800 number. Let them know what issue you have with your product, and have them advise you as to where you can take your item. Once you have the information from the 800 number where they tell you, you know what, go back and take it to Saks, or if they tell you to take it to like a standalone Louis Vuitton, then do that. And then when you get there, let them know that you've been in touch with the 800 number, that you're just here to drop off an item, and they will take it's no longer a conversation. You just take your item to the repair, to someone, and they will take in the item, and it will not even be a conversation. All they have to do is take it in and send it off for repair. And in order for you to get a timetable, again, I would say contact the 800 number for an accurate time frame of when your item is repaired. You can check how long it's going to take, and then you can call back a week or two to check on the status and see if it's been repaired and returned, because the stores, they're not making any money off of your repair. That's not something that they are. It's not a priority for them to contact anyone who has a repair. Now, will some stores do it and do it correctly? I'm sure. But in order to avoid any unpleasantness, I say to you, deal with the 800 number. It is so much better. It is so much easier. That's actually what they're there for. And again, I remind you that sales associates' job is to sell. And so this is probably one of the reasons why most of them are very standoffish, if you will. That is to put it politely. They can be very, very rude about it. But I think that in hindsight, I understand that you are taking time away from their sales, that they have sales goals that they have to meet. So keep that in mind. The next fashion house that I dealt with was Chloe. I don't know if you guys remember, maybe I'll post the video here. I have a pair of Susanna boots that I purchased from Farfetch, and for some reason the leather buckle tore off. I swear to you, I don't know why that happened. I'm still so confused about that, but I purchased it from Farfetch. It had been, I want to say 3 months, and I had only worn them like maybe 3 times. And I contacted Farfetch. They really weren't helpful whatsoever. Now with Farfetch, they again are a merchant that connects you with different boutiques, right? So always keep that receipt from whatever boutique it came from. That receipt is very important. Farfetch was not able to help me. They couldn't even direct me. So just forget about Farfetch altogether. I ended up contacting Chloe directly, the 800 number at Chloe. I got it through the website, and I was instructed to send photos. They wanted to see how much wear it had. They wanted to see the damage. Then they would give me instructions. So again, this was a situation where I dealt with the 800 number. They then instructed me to go to a very specific boutique locally. Because I had spoken to the 800 number and I had an email that said take it there, those were my instructions. It was not you're going to possibly fix it, it's here, they're going to take care of the problem. This repair actually took the longest. They were unable to repair my boots, but what they did end up doing, I want to say it was there for a good 6 to 7 months of constantly dealing with them. I was told that they were not going to be able to fix it and that I should just pick up my boots, which I thought was funny because that was never going to happen in life. I said absolutely not. I was told by the 800 number that you guys were going to take care of it, and anything other than you actually taking care of it, there has to be a solution, and me picking up my boots is not a solution. So I held strong, and eventually they let me pick a pair of boots from their boutique. They did not have the color boots that I had purchased, so I ended up with a whole new other color that I technically didn't necessarily want, and so I thought I would just end up selling those boots and then repurchasing the ones that I wanted, but I ended up keeping them and purchasing the color that I wanted anyway. But Chloe did come through in the end. Again, sometimes you just have to be very, very firm with your expectation of the resolution. I believe in being polite at all times, but be firm to what your expectation is. And with that 800 number email telling you that they're going to fix it, there's just no way around it. Chloe did take the longest though, but the sales associate that I was working with was really, really polite, and she was really, really sweet. And I know she wanted to do right by me, but her manager was being difficult. So just ask to speak to them directly. They never want to speak to you. I'm going to be really honest with you. So if you tell the sales associate, look, I know it's not you, it's them, they're making that decision, and so they're going to have to contact me because this is not going to work. So that was how that was handled. The third repair that I had was, I believe I discussed it last year, and it was my Chanel phone case. I did purchase at the beginning of the year, and the glazing just started like flapping around, and so I had purchased it from Neiman Marcus. Still, I had not learned that I shouldn't deal with these merchants. So I contacted Neiman Marcus, and they were horrendous. I was basically told that they were not going to repair it, that there was nothing that they could do. and they were ignoring me, which just made me really upset, which is why I ended up calling the Chanel 800 customer number, and they couldn't have been any nicer. I will say to you, if you learn anything from this video, it is to contact the 800 number. They are there to help you. I gave them an explanation of my purchase, of the situation with Neiman Marcus and the Chanel boutique there, and how I was being ignored. And she was horrified, and she told me that somebody would contact me back. Somebody did contact me back from the repairs department at Chanel, and then I ended up dealing with them directly. They took my case. They told me I could drop it off or I can ship it, and that they would take care of it, and they did. That repair took under 30 days. I was then contacted and told that my item was ready to be picked up, or they could ship it for me if I so wanted, and they did. They shipped it to me at no cost to me, and it was repaired. And all the time that I spent dealing with Neiman Marcus was such a waste of time. Again, with Chanel, with Louis Vuitton, with Chloe, the 800 number saved the day. This is who you should contact. This is the only number that you should contact in order to have an item repaired. The last item that I had repaired were my Gucci rubber sandals. I purchased those through Bloomingdale's. At this point, I was pretty much done contacting merchants, and I wasn't even contacting Gucci so that they could repair anything for me. Like, I was willing, all I wanted from Gucci was an authorized repair specialist for my sandals. That's all I was calling for. It wasn't for them to fix something, because I knew that was my fault. I told them what had happened, that it unglued. My instructions from Gucci was to take them into a Gucci store and just have them assessed for repair. And that's what I did. And they couldn't have been any nicer. I went into Gucci, I showed them the shoe, they submitted it for an evaluation, and I received a phone call that said that that my shoes were not repairable and that I would receive a new pair. That was the easiest repair story that I've ever had, ever. I just again contacted the 800 number, followed their directions. When I got to Gucci, I let them know I've been in touch with the 800 number, and I was told to bring them to you for assessment. So always reference the 800 number. That way they know what's going on. Also, you can also submit photos to the 800 number for feedback on what's going to happen ahead of time. That's something that I would also do. When you're dealing with these stores, again, you are taking time away from the retail aspect of the store. So in hindsight, I would now probably submit photos through the 800 number and then wait for instructions, or see if they just ship you something new, or they give you address where to ship stuff. So that is my experience with repairs. I've always had my items repaired. I genuinely would never accept anything other than that from any of these companies. I just wouldn't. Lastly, I wanted to talk about, if all of that fails, I wanted to talk about chargebacks. Now, if you purchase items with your credit card and a merchant or design house isn't honoring a sale, meaning if you buy a defective product, it has to be rectified, or you can file a claim with your credit card company. These companies do not like chargebacks. A sale is a contract. If you buy a bag and the bag isn't performing as a bag because the strap came off or because it ripped, within a certain period, usually a year, the sale isn't being honored. Most credit card companies have really amazing policies in place, and I'm specifically talking about the United States. I'm sorry, that is our situation here in this country. But credit card companies have really amazing policies in place to assist customers in these kinds of situations. So do not take no for an answer, you guys. Yes, I believe that everything that we buy it with the idea that it is a quality product, but lemons do kind of happen. They happen with cars, they happen with refrigerators, with a lot of different products that people make. For whatever reason, lemons is something that happens everywhere, and it'll happen also with your luxury goods, but you don't have to accept it or end up with a faulty or defective product. There's always something that you can do to have that corrected, and I would just never accept that. I never have not had an item repaired or replaced. I do hope that you guys found this useful. If you are in a different country, then go ahead and comment down below like any information or useful tips that you have for people in different parts of the country, because I know that this does vary from country to country. But again, I do hope that this was a useful video for you all. I really appreciate your time, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.